Broadway is back open from McKnight to I-40 after Bernalillo County Sheriff deputies investigated a crash involving one of their own. Officials say a deputy was driving south on Broadway in northeast Albuquerque when he was struck by a woman who was driving east on Indian School. Both were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Deputies do not believe alcohol was a factor. Well, was it murder or self-defense? Those are some of the questions surrounding a deadly shooting that happened over a year ago this month that has turned into a high-profile case.
And now state police will re-examine this deadly shooting in Albuquerque that has some calling it vigilantism. In March of last year, a man with a gun was seen in a driveway in Ventana Ranch neighborhood. Donnie Pearson, who lived nearby, got word of this, went and grabbed his gun, hopped in his truck, and went looking for that man. Well, Pearson found him. Jonathan Mitchell here, a mentally ill Iraq War veteran who had by then had walked back to his own house. Well, as Pearson pulled up, APD chopper video here shows Mitchell fired first from his garage and Pearson fired back, killing him. APD says this was self-defense. The Mitchell family and activists believe Pearson hunted him down. The district attorney is now waiting for state police and FBI reviews to determine charges. Closing arguments are expected to start today for the civil trial for the shooting death of Christopher Torres. The city called witnesses yesterday, arguing Torres, who suffered from schizophrenia, was unstable and also was using the drug Spice. Two plainclothed APD officers went to Torres' house to arrest him for a road rage case. This was back in 2011 when one of the officers shot Torres 3 times in the back after APD claimed he reached for an officer's gun. They called a forensic scientist to testify yesterday that Torres' DNA was on the officer's gun.
Is the DNA evidence of Christopher Torres on Detective Hilger's gun's grip consistent with Christopher Torres actually holding the grip of that gun?
That's possible, yes.
But the DNA expert here also testified she doesn't know for sure if the DNA on the gun was from Torres' hands. You just heard her say it's possible. There is no jury in this case. A judge will decide whether the shooting was necessary.
A scary story out of Clovis where someone planted a homemade bomb in a mailbox. It exploded when a little girl went to check the mail. 5-year-old Angel Cadell was burned on her chest, arms, and legs. The bottle was filled with chemicals. Clovis police think it was cleaning products.
It's a homemade bomb. No sugarcoating it at all. It's a homemade bomb is what it is. It's not a joke. My daughter could have died that day, you know.
Angel is expected to be okay. It's not known who would do such a thing. So far, police don't have any suspects in this case.
New Mexico seems to be making strides against DWI, but as you probably know, there's still a lot to be done. Yesterday, the governor released the latest DWI statistics. Last year, 133 people died in alcohol-related crashes. 10 years ago, the number was much higher at 2014, but there are still too many tragic stories, including one we recently told you about, where investigators say Daniel Sanchez was hit and killed by a drunk driver while riding his motorcycle with his daughter. And just Friday, an aviation officer was badly hurt after being hit by a suspected drunk driver. And get this, APD says while they were investigating this crash, they found and arrested 3 other people who were driving drunk. Richard Woodward continues to tell his story. In 2010, his car was rear-ended by a drugged driver, killing his grandson, Brandon.
You never recover from this. No, it seems like yesterday, and my heart will be forever broken.
You can hear the sorrow in his voice. The governor also announced a new anti-DWI initiative at the Sleda Amphitheater called Sober Zone. DOT, Sleda, and radio stations are all getting together to give away concert tickets located in the Sober Zone. It's a VIP area with great seating, but you don't drink there when you go to the concerts.
All right, St. Patrick's Day weekend is upon us, and you can sure count on a lot of celebrations, many of which will include a lot of booze.
Yeah, you can also count on the cops and some local bars to step up their efforts to prevent crashes and tragedy. In fact, News 13's Samantha McDonald found out that some places are even offering incentives for folks who party sober. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Matt. That's right. Expect the celebration of all things Irish to start today here at O'Neill's Pub in Albuquerque. Staff say they want to make sure everyone stays safe tonight. They're trained to spot if someone has had too much to drink. Also, bartenders are planning on rewarding sobriety with free sodas.
Anybody who wants to come in as a designated driver, we'd be happy to accommodate them with a drink for sure.
And staff say they will call taxis for partygoers if necessary.
If we did have somebody that was intoxicated that came onto our property from somewhere else, we work diligently to get them home safely.
And out on the streets, dozens of extra officers from multiple agencies will be out patrolling to catch drunk drivers. The Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department and APD are each planning on sending 10 to 15 extra officers out on the roads. And APD, State Police, and Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department will all have DW checkpoints at undisclosed locations. And if you're 21 and over, it's illegal to drive with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or more. If you're under 21, anything over 0.02 is illegal. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Samantha. If you're convicted of a DWI, you face fines and jail time, much less the fact that you could hurt or kill somebody.
I would say so.